In 1543, the Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus (1473–1543) ventured to question Ptolemy's ideas about the structure of the world. The theory of the heliocentric universe proposed by Copernicus placed the Sun in the center, around which the Earth and 5 other planets known by that time revolved in circular orbits. The Italian thinker Giordano Bruno (1548–1600) especially boldly deepened and developed the theory of Copernicus. He proved that the universe cannot have a center. It is infinite. Many points in the sky are stars, and the Sun is one of these stars. There are an infinite number of such suns in the universe, and in the circle of some there are planets that can also have life. In 1592, the ministers of the Roman Church arrested Giordano Bruno. They kept the scientist in prison for more than 7 years, torturing him to renounce his theory. In 1600, Bruno was sentenced to be burned at the stake. But even this did not force the scientist to abandon his views. Almost 300 years later, in 1889, Giordano Bruno was commemorated at the place of execution in Rome. The famous German astronomer Johannes Kepler (1571–1630) made a huge contribution to the study of the universe. As a result of a careful analysis of works on astronomy, the scientist made an amazing discovery. The planets move around the Sun not in a circular orbit, but along an elongated curve, an ellipse. Based on this hypothesis, the scientists deduced 3 laws of planetary motion. However, at that time they did not arouse any interest among astronomers. It was only after the scientist's death that Kepler's theory changed all the laws of astronomy. Astronomers made all the first discoveries, so to speak, with the naked eye, using primitive devices. And although this allowed them to create a fairly truthful theory of the structure of the universe, more detailed research was impossible until they invented a special device designed to observe the heavenly bodies. In 1608, the Dutch eyeglass maker Hans Lippers (1570–1619) discovered that if 2 lenses were placed on the same straight line, they acquired the ability to magnify objects. In 1609, the Italian scientist Galileo Galilei (1564–1642), using his knowledge of physics and mechanics, invented a device that made it possible to increase objects by almost 35 times. What Galileo saw, armed with a telescope, amazed him. He looked at mountains and giant craters on the moon, saw tiny satellites moving around Jupiter, and found moving spots on the Sun. It turned out that the planet Venus was constantly changing its shape. This discovery turned out to be the most important. It was the change in the shape of Venus that proved that the planet revolves around the Sun and not around the Moon. Thus, the correctness of the Copernican theory was proved. In 1610, Galileo reflected his observations made with the help of a teleprompter in the book The Starry Messenger. Looking at their logic and the evidence of the scientist, the Church once again supported Ptolemy's theory. Galileo was accused of disrespecting God, captured and tortured. Under the pressure of the saints, Galileo, kneeling in the church, renounced his teachings. The first telescopes used 2 lenses that refracted light rays. Such telescopes became known as refractors. A modern refractor telescope contains 2 main components: a lens and an eyepiece. The lens creates a reduced image of an infinitely distant object, and then this image is viewed in the eyepiece, as in a magnifying glass. The world's largest telescope of this type is located at the Yerkes Observatory, USA, and has a lens diameter of 100 centimeters. The manufacture of larger refractors is impractical, since high-quality large lenses are expensive to manufacture. They are extremely difficult. The English scientist Isaac Newton (1643–1727) played a huge role in a series of astronomical discoveries. In 1668, he significantly improved the refractor telescope. In his invention, Newton used a system of mirrors instead of lenses. Since mirrors were easier to manufacture and their size significantly exceeded the size of lenses, Newton's invention opened the way to the creation of larger and more powerful reflecting telescopes.